It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Assata Shakur.
It is our duty to fight for
Who
our
was Assata
freedom.
Shakur? The answer to that question is complicated and it depends on who you're asking. If you're asking the New Jersey State Troopers, they'll tell you that Assata, or Joanne Chesimard, is the cop-killing mother hen of the Black Liberation Army and a former member of the New York Black Panthers. If you ask the FBI, they'll tell you that she's a domestic terrorist, the first woman they ever placed on their most wanted list, and currently has a $2 million bounty on her head for her return from Cuba, where she's currently exiled.
It is our duty to win.
But when you ask the people, you get a different story. The voices you've been hearing have been from young protesters around the US and even here in London, quoting what is known as Assata's chant. The chant, along with t-shirts and posters with the phrase Assata taught me, have been a rallying cry at protests run by Black Lives Matter and other newer movements for social change. But when you talk to former members of the Black Panther Party, they'll tell you that while they love Assata's words being carried on by a new generation, they worry that it's often being done without taking into account the revolutionary tradition and history her and her comrades were fighting in. A fight that saw the FBI-led counterintelligence program illegally spy on, kill, and imprison many of her comrades, some of whom are still in prison to this day. One thing they'll all tell you is that on May 3rd, 1973, Assata and two of her comrades, Zaid Malik Shakur and Sundiata Acoli, were driving down the New Jersey Turnpike where they were pulled over by two state troopers, Trooper Harper and Trooper Forrester. At one point in what was alleged to be a routine traffic stop, shots were fired.
Did you shoot Werner Foster?
No, I did not.
Zaid Malik Shakur and New Jersey State Trooper Werner Foster were both killed in a gunfight. Sundiata Acoli, who was driving, briefly managed to escape, but Assata, who was shot and badly wounded, was taken into police custody. Over the next few days, Assata would be tortured and tormented at the hands of the New Jersey State Troopers while in hospital. According to Assata's aunt and lawyer, Evelyn Williams, the New Jersey officials developed an impenetrable barrier of bureaucracy in order to prevent her from seeing Assata, who she called Joey at the time. The first time Evelyn attempted to visit her niece and client Joey, she was told that her condition was too critical to permit visitors no matter who they were. Evelyn was also told that even if Joey's condition improved, she would need direct permission from the sheriff's office, which was located in Middlesex County Jail, in order to see her niece. When Evelyn arrived, the sheriff wasn't there. Evelyn was then told that even if the sheriff was there, the state troopers would need to approve the visit, and so she would have to go down to the state police administration's building. And when she got to the State Police Administration's building, they told her that the person that she needed to see was occupied, so she would have to see them, quote, tomorrow or some other time. Evelyn later learned that while she was being sent on this goose chase, her niece, Joey, who was supposedly too sick to be seen by her family and her lawyer, was arraigned on 6 pages of charges by the New Jersey officials. After eventually seeing a Superior Court judge, Evelyn was granted permission to see Joey in hospital. And despite her very serious injuries and the upcoming legal battle, Joey made it clear to Evelyn that she wanted to put out a statement on July 4th. While she was initially apprehensive about this, Evelyn came to understand that Joey's political responsibilities were paramount to who she became. As Evelyn held the microphone close to Joey's mouth and listened to what she said, she finally saw her for what her African name represented. Assata, which means she who struggles, Oligbala, which means for the people, and Shakur, which means the grateful. Assata made the following statement.
Black brothers, Black sisters, I want you to know that I love you, and I hope that somewhere in your hearts, you have love for me too. My name is Assata Shakur, slave name Joanne Chesimard, and I am a revolutionary, a Black revolutionary. By that, I mean that I have declared war on all the forces that have raped our women, castrated our men, and kept babies empty-bellied. I have declared war on the rich who prosper on our poverty, the politicians who lie to us with smiling faces, and all the mindless, heartless robots who protect them and their property. I am a Black revolutionary, and by definition, that makes me part of the Black Liberation Army. They call us murderers. But we do not control or engineer a system of racism and oppression that systematically murders Black and Third World people. Although Black people supposedly comprise about 15% of the total American population, at least 60% of murder victims are Black. For every pig that is killed in the so-called line of duty, there are at least 50 Black people murdered by police. Black life expectancy is much lower than white, and they do their best to kill us before we are born. We are burned alive in fire trap tenements. Our brothers and sisters OD daily from heroin and methadone. Our babies die from lead poisoning. Millions of Black people have died as a result of indecent medical care. This is murder. But they have the gall to call us murderers. They call us thieves and bandits. They say we steal, but it was not we who stole millions of Black people from their continent of Africa. We were robbed of our language, of our gods, of our culture, of our human dignity, of our labor, and of our lives. They call us thieves, yet it is not we who rip off billions of dollars every year through tax evasions, illegal price fixing, embezzlement, consumer fraud, bribes, kickbacks, and swindles. They call us bandits, yet every time most Black people pick up our paychecks, we are being robbed. Every time we walk into a store, in our neighborhoods, we are being held up. And every time we pay our rent, the landlord sticks a gun in our ribs. They call us thieves, but we do not rob and murder millions of Indians by ripping off their homeland, then call ourselves pioneers. They call us bandits, but it is not we who are robbing Africa, Asia, and Latin America of their natural resources and freedom, while the people who live there are sick and starving. The rulers of this country and their flunkies have committed some of the most brutal, vicious crimes in history. They are the bandits. They are the murderers, and they should be treated as such. These maniacs are not fit to judge me, Clark, or any other Black person on trial in America. Black people should and inevitably must determine our destinies. Every revolution in history has been accomplished by actions. Although words are necessary, we must create shields that protect us and spears that penetrate our enemies. Black people must learn how to struggle by struggling. We must learn from our mistakes. I want to apologize to you, my Black brothers and sisters, for being on the New Jersey Turnpike. I should have known better. The Turnpike is a checkpoint where Black people are stopped, searched, harassed, and assaulted. Revolutionaries must never be in too much of a hurry or make careless decisions. He who runs when the sun is asleep will stumble many times. Every time a Black freedom fighter is murdered or captured, the pigs try to create the impression that they have quashed the Black movement, destroyed our forces, and put down the Black Revolution. The pigs also try to give the impression that 5 of the guerrillas are responsible for every revolutionary action carried out in America. That is nonsense. That is absurd. Black revolutionaries do not drop from the moon. We are created by our conditions, shaped by our oppression. We are manufactured in droves in the ghetto streets, places like Attica, San Quentin, Bedford Hills, Leavenworth, and Sing Sing. They are turning out thousands of us. Many jobless Black veterans and welfare mothers are joining our ranks. Brothers and sisters from all walks of life who are tired of suffering passively make up the BLA. There is and always will be, until every Black man, woman, and child is free, a Black Liberation Army. The main function of the Black Liberation Army at this time is to create good examples, to struggle for Black freedom, and to prepare for the future. We must defend ourselves and let no one disrespect us. We must gain our liberation by any means necessary. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. In the spirit of Ronald Carter, William Christmas, Mark Clark, Mark Essex, Frank Heavy Fields, Woody Chenga, Olugbala Green, Fred Hampton, Little Bobby Hutton, George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, James McLean, Harold Russell, Zaid Malik Shakur, and Anthony Jumu Olugbala White. We must fight on.